Kate,
Hello,
how are
Matt.
you doing?
How are you, my friend? Nice to see
Fantastic.
you.
You too. It's season
Yeah,
3. How are you feeling?
finally got there.
So, how about
I'm
that?
surprised it got season 8. Just
Right?
takes so long to make.
I would honestly, how you portrayed Liandrin. I would want to know Liandrin made it to season 8. Like, I want to follow the journey of
Can't promise
Liandrin at this
that.
point.
I can't promise that.
So, I mean, how about that party that they held for you at the White Tower in episode 1? Like, that was pretty cool, huh?
Hey, for a 52-year-old middle-aged mum with 2 kids, Matt. I mean,
I,
it's kind of like hooray.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's like thrilling to do. Yeah.
it was fans talk a lot about this. It's like that shot right before I think you just blow up the place, and that the blood is kind of just across your smile. Fans talk about it's
Like
like that's
Joker,
your
yeah.
Joker look. Yeah, yeah.
In fact, I've got a couple of shots like that. I should put them on my socials because I've got some ones like that from yeah. Yeah, and that Kelly who and the prosthetics makeup, the special effects makeup, um, where they the attention to detail. They kind of keep because of course I'd have my lunch or whatever, and then it might slightly move down my face a bit, and they'd come in and like absolutely keep it at the exact angle and that thing because they knew that's what it was trying to tell.
They've got to release the photos or the video of you eating with that. That's
I
just
can release a photo of me eating
you, you
so
you
yeah,
need
watch
to.
this
You need
space.
to. You need to. Did you have input? Did you have input into that moment? I mean, it's such a long sequence. You're so obviously involved in it. Did you have input into the look, the like what
To be
happened, the
honest, I mean,
choreography? Yeah.
to be honest, I like to have input, but something like that where you're really dealing with, safety and stunts, I
Mm,
defer to the experts. You know,
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
okay, no, I can't do that. I must do that. But you've got to get it into your body, the dance of it.
Yeah.
What made me laugh so much? We finished the White Tower section,
Yeah.
and it was, I mean, the place was just a mess, as you can imagine.
Right,
I
right.
mean, strangely enough, it was all completely, the elves came in that night and tidied up, and it was all ready for shooting in a completely different scene. But I mean, it was a mess, like it is like in the shot. And then we did a big yay, big like hooray, we all got there because it's what's so lovely about doing a scene like that is that it's a real company. You've got all the actors and the crew and all the
Yeah.
departments, and you're just making one thing together, and it's such a lovely shared experience, and it's my happy place is everyone doing the same thing for the same good for the same thing, and
Yeah.
it's where I hate to sound sort of gushy about it, but in a world where everyone's sort of at each other's bloody throats the whole time, it's just lovely to have a common ground.
Yeah.
So, but we finished that section. We were like, "Yay, we made it!" And then, like Tim was like, "We've got to go outside now and do that section." We're out. No, so we all sort of forgot that we were then going to go and spend 2 weeks outside fighting.
Yeah. It just never, yeah, it never ends, which is actually so much fun. The I remember we spoke. It was after season 1, but before season 2 came out, and you and I talked about Liandrin, and you mentioned that Liandrin, as a character, wanted to have a voice. She wanted to have a political effect. She wanted to be
Mm.
like in the thick of it, and that's kind of like her journey to the White Tower, is where she thought she could have that. Now she's been outed as Black Aja and has kind of lost that a bit. Like, is Leandrin done with
Well, she's sort of
wanting
gone
that?
down. Yeah, no. But you know, imagine it. Like, I guess the analogy would be that she was a big fish in what she thought was a small pond,
Yeah.
and now she's had to kind of recalibrate. She's having to go back to being. She'll have to go back to being a foot soldier for a bit.
Okay. Okay. I mean, and that makes me think about this because the writers and you together, and I guess the whole crew, right, have done something shocking for me, which is like you've made me like so interested in Leandrin. Like I'm
Right.
it's just like it's really compelling character now in a way that the books just never delivered that. And the show is kind of it's done a good job of asking that question of like why does someone choose the side of the shadow, right? Like why would someone end up working for or as part of the Dark One? his
Yeah.
brew, right? So, and Leandrin's line is pretty centered in that question, like, what does Leandrin want now?
I mean, it's not a million miles away from I want to be heard, but I think it's now become an obsession, right? So imagine that I mean, let's talk about anybody who's got more power than they need, or
Sure.
no, or it's just never enough, is it? It becomes toxic then, rather than it being a sort of honorable, it starts to become,
Yeah.
you know, a toxic thing. So sorry, there's a demonstration going on outside in London. I'm thinking, what's going on? Um, um, literally, yeah. So it's become more toxic, but with that toxicity, there's more to gain. So the risk is higher, isn't it?
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
learning that. I've got to work through that as well, Matt, because it's sort
Yeah.
of, I don't quite know all of that yet,
Yeah.
and because it's like, because I, live and breathe her when I'm playing her, and I sort of have to do it like any actor, you just have to not play act three while you're in act one,
Sure.
you know, you've got to play the now, now, now. And if I'm thinking, well, I know what happens and this is the reason,
Yeah.
I just play the stakes that I've got now. And
Okay. I mean,
not make
in the
sorry,
now
there's
does
literally like a massive thing going on. Is the world falling apart?
in the now, does Leandrin hope Nynaeve survived that moment? Is she hoping that
Oh,
that Nynaeve follows her?
oh, I don't know. I mean, it's so hard, the Nynaeve thing. I don't know how much you've watched, but the only thing I will say
Yeah.
that it was hard to film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's fair. This one is just a fun question
Yes.
because much has been made about the Forsaken in the show, like touching people's faces. Like there's just like we always talk about this, like, oh my gosh, like they always reaching out.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly in season one, don't you touch Moraine's
I touched
face? Yeah.
Meringue, yeah.
Okay,
And it's
so
not, I think it must be because it's not in the script, you
yeah.
know.
Oh, okay. So it's okay. Well,
It's
let me flip it on Leandrin then. If Leandrin's face had to be touched by one of the Forsaken, would she choose Lanfear,
yeah,
Ishamael, Moghedien, or one of the new ones, Ravine?
probably Lanfear.
Lanfear. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I
oh, sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
the others do scare me.
Sure.
Which is good.
Understandably.
Good.
Well,
It's
it's
good
been a
for
joy.
Leandrin to be scared. It's good for Leandrin to be scared. It's a really interesting thing that, because of course I've played such sort of, I play such high status with everybody, apart from
Yeah.
Naive, where it's very complex. For Leandrin to be scared will be an interesting quality to
Yeah.
explore. Mm.
Well, I honestly can't wait to see the rest of the season. Season started off fantastically. So thank you very much for taking a
Very
moment.
lovely.
I'm glad
Great
we
to
had a chance to
see you.
reconnect. It was awesome seeing you at the fan premiere. And
Yes, you too.
we'll
Thanks.
see you again soon. Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.